So I made a hearth for the wood burner using recycled materials. So this would be a slightly longer video than usual because there's quite a lot involved in this. So here's me cleaning up some of the tiles and bricks I've got left over. I had around about a square metre or so of tiles left and sort of 20 or 30 bricks. And that's about a lot then of everything that I've salvaged from the house when I took the flooring off from what was in the loft area and used it on the kitchen floor. Um, and the terrific materials. I think French call them tonettes. Well, these are square. Almost we would say probably quarry tiles. And then the bricks are sort of half brick section, the thickness of them. But they're quite a nice brick. And I just thought it would be a perfect time. This is working on a day when I don't need to use the wood burner, so it'll allow it a chance to dry off. So yeah, so to begin with, I'm just scraping off, getting as much crap and stuff off these tiles and bricks as possible, ready to make a start on the hearth. The hearth? Why do you have a hearth? The main reason is the fact that obviously the wood burner is going to generate X amount of heat, and ideally it wants to be around about 4 or 5 inches off the floor. The wood burner itself has got legs, or feet rather, so it just sits slightly up anyway. But if we then put it onto something solid like a brick or block hearth, that will just protect the floor even more. And then the floor beneath this is actually concrete. I did try and get this old laminate off, but it's sort of welded onto the concrete surface. It just wasn't coming off anytime soon, and I really couldn't be bothered to try and remove it mechanically. So I thought, sod it, I'm just going to lay the thing on top, and it'll have laminate laid over the other areas once it's all finished. So you'll never see that. It will be gone forever. It will remain in place, but it'll be gone forever as such. Right. So I decided I'm going to make a hearth around about a square metre, around about just slightly bigger than a square foot, using the bricks and the tiles. So first of all, just quickly mark out where I think it's going to go. Again, you don't want your wood burner to be tight against a wall, even though this wall is soil. There were panelling there. The panels have been removed so that we don't have the wood panels been removed, so we don't have the problem of possible fire. You don't want anything combustible anywhere near, obviously, a wood burner. And obviously, they're quite messy affairs when you're cleaning them out and stuff. So to have a solid surface like this, which I'll be able to work on, clean the wood burner out and stuff like that, just makes sense. So this is the hearth's going to be sitting around about 35 centimetres, around about 14 inches away from the wall. Or the hearth is anyway, and then the wood burner is going to be sitting slightly further deeper than that. So the wood burner is going to be probably about 45 centimetres away from the wall. So that's a good distance between what you're burning and the wall, even though, like I said, the wall isn't combustible. This stuff I've got here, I had a sack spare when I was doing some floor tile for someone, and this I decided I would use up to bed the bricks in. They don't need to have a particular. To be honest with you, on this one, I realised I had cement, but I didn't have any sand. I had half a bag of sand, so I needed to get the old thinking cap on and work out what on earth I was going to do. And then I remembered I had this bag of adhesive. Basically, it's flooring adhesive for larger, sort of the heavier set floor tiles. And I thought, well, that'd be perfect. So similar sort of principle to tiling. If you're tiling walls, you're going to lay the stuff out, then using my serrated trowel, I'm just going to work my way along there. The consistency's not too thick and not too thin. It wants to be a Goldilocks consistency, so it's just right. And this way, then roughly working out where the bricks are going to go. It does work out 4 bricks across. Sadly, it doesn't work the other way because what I've used is the tiles. It obviously is going to be the finish, so the bricks are going to finish where the tiles would, in theory, finish. So rather than just putting 4 bricks by 4 bricks by 4 bricks by 4 bricks and having it entirely square like that, and then finding that when you're laying the tiles out, there's a gap at the end because the tiles don't fit. I decided what I would do is I would work to the distance of the tiles, so I'm getting a quicker idea of where my measurements are, and then putting in. I also had a spare parapang, which is a concrete block. I thought I can put that at the back, seeing as I was struggling a little bit with the bricks, the amount of bricks that I've got. And I thought if I put the parapang in or with the concrete block, then you're never going to see that anyway because it's always going to be at the back of the wood burner, and it's got tiles sitting on top of it. So there you go, bit of use for that as well. And these are things that obviously were lying around either in the garage or in the house. The old wood burner was sitting on two parapangs. To get it off the floor, so to allow an airflow to come underneath it because it didn't have any feet. Right, so the first course is in. Again, it's a bit like tiling, so I don't. There's no proper bed going in as such. This is just enough bed for it to adhere. And as I said, there are 3 courses going. I just realised I was using the wrong microphone, so I'm sorry if the first 6 minutes of this you can't quite hear. I was using the other microphone for whatever reason. Anyway, going back to this, so second course is going on. There will be a little bit of cuts to go in towards the back there, the bricks. That's not a major issue. I am a mason pavior. No, not bothered using the grinder on this. I've just thought I'll just use a hammer and bolster. So it's as easy as. Obviously the front section, most of the brickwork you're not going to see anyway because it's going to be covered in tiles. But obviously the front section is going to look like a standard sort of staggered bond brickwork, albeit with a very thin bed. And with that, it just means that I've used up the brick, so you've got some continuity in the house because obviously the kitchen floor is in these bricks and tiles. And then obviously the hearth is going to be, you're going to be seeing it with bricks and tiles as well. So I thought it was quite a nice bit of reusing the old materials to the absolute nth to get it finished. Right, so quick cut or a couple of cuts to go in once I've worked out how this is going to sit. Hammer and bolster, bump, easy done. Not being overly, what's the word with this? It really, at the end of the day, a hearth tends to get filthy fairly quickly. It's sort of a working area as such for your wood burner. It doesn't need to look brand spanking new and absolutely dead square and all the rest of it. As long as it looks the part when the wood burner is sitting on it, the wood burner is going to take up a good sort of 40% of the hearth anyway. That was my main consideration here. I just wanted to get it done. So I do tend to just sort of crack on with things. And it tends to work not too bad generally. And obviously you can criticise if you want, but it really doesn't bother me either way. Criticism has never bothered me. I'm a person that just gets on and does things, rather than having someone trying to explain to you how it should be done, but people that never actually get around to doing anything. So here we have getting near to where the second course is in place, using the offcuts just to fill in the gaps. And the third course would then go on. So the third course is then on. Then I've just infilled. I've got tons of hardcore, as you may have seen in a previous video, outside. That's gone into almost the level of the area there. And with that then, I'll use what's left of the stuff that I'd knocked up, which was the bag of tiling adhesive, the floor tiling adhesive, using the rest of that just to infill the gaps a little bit. As I said earlier on the video, I have only got half a bag of sand, so disaster, cock up really on Michael's part. So the idea was that if I can use this lot up as well, get it into place, that's going to take up some of the space, fill some of the gaps up, and also help bond it all together. And then after that, it would be a question of once all that's sort of gotten done with, wash the paddle out, wash the tub out a wee bit, and then knock up what sand and cement I did have. I'm no shortage. I've actually got 2 bags of cement on site, so that's not an issue. But I only had a half a bag of masonry sand, so it meant that ultimately it was going to be touch and go whether it would be sufficient or not. So anyway, this was the stuff I was using. There you can see fairly standard stuff. Knock it up with put water in the tub and knock it up, and there you go. And then it was a question of sand and cement. So I used up whatever sand and cement I've got. I thought I will then lay that over the entire area and see where it gets to. Now, as it happens, there wasn't quite enough to actually be able to finish bedding in the tiles as such. But for the purpose of this video, what I've done is I've laid the tiles out anyway so that you can kind of see and you get a rough idea of where it's going to look at the end. So obviously when I'm back there, I'll need to pick up a bag of sand and I'll need to just rebed in the tiles. But anyway, this will give you, I'll say for the purpose of this video, it'll look like almost like it's a finish. So put in the sand and cement in. It's a fairly strong mix. It's actually sort of about 1 and 1, just because I've got tons of cement and I've only got half a bag of sand, as I've said, for about the 10th time now. Nice and thick and consistent. Running that in, trying to work out at this point here, I'm hoping that I might just have enough to just put a very, very thin bed over the entirety. But in real terms, as optimistic as I was, it just wasn't going to happen. So scrape every last bit of sand and cement out of the tub, get it onto the surface. Obviously going to lose a certain amount of sand and cement in the 1 or 2 gaps that are still visible on the top section, on the internals, the hardcore bit that's in there. But however, at least it's given me an entirely flat surface, which means that when it does come to actually properly lay the tiles in place, there will be it'll be a fairly quick process, and I won't need too much of a bed running through it. Probably about a 1/2 inch bed, just to put the quarry tiles in, or the tomettes, and just joint them. Now, I have said on numerous occasions I don't like straight joins, but on this one there will be straight joins. Quarry tiling, you can kind of get away with it generally. I couldn't see the point of staggering the bonds on this, particularly, like I said, when you're going to lose about 40% of the surface area anyway, with the wood burner sitting on it. So I just thought it'll just be whatever, 6 tiles one way by 6 tiles the other. So that's giving you 36 tiles. And put a quick bit of mathematics there for you. And with that, then it should look relatively uniform and not too out of place. And you've got this surface then, which should then protect the floor and the immediate areas around it. If you've got any cinders or anything that or embers that come out of the fire when you open the door up to top it up, there should be big enough of a surface here that will stop it from touching what's going to be laminate flooring going down there. So there you can see these tomettes or tiles aren't exactly the same size at all, because they were handmade. They vary ever so slightly in size. They're quite a nice, attractive looking tile in real terms. So just a question of, again, I know they're not getting bedded in permanently here at this stage, but just to try and give it the look, I thought I'll put them in and let's see what the finish is going to look like. It should look quite tidy when it's all done. 6 tiles to the front, 6 tiles to the sides, 6 tiles to the rear, and then the infill. So I'm fairly happy with this. Anybody that's had wood burners will know the utility of having hearths. Other than that, I mean, the modern way is you buy like a big glass sheet and the wood burner sits on that. But I don't think that would go at all well with this particular renovation. So this is what I've done, which is more authentic, more in keeping with the house. Very pleased with it. It will get finished fairly shortly, and just to show you exactly what it should look like. So there you go. So obviously, if you can imagine it, the joins are in place as well, sand and cement joins, and it's all done, and it's a finish, and then the wood burner can go on it forevermore until I run out of, until winter, I'll run out of wood. Anyway, this was a slightly longer video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and please leave a comment.